right, so I'm Brian with Mana Beast.
Panda, Mana Beast.
Steven with Mana Beast.
Oh, well, you can see me?
We can see you.
Oh,
yeah.
snap.
I like he's like, you could, yeah, you're on camera.
hide.
Don't hide. Yeah,
One of us should have been like, whoa, when did you get there?
Right. It's the bearded wonder.
Yes.
Saint Nick himself.
Do you
With the,
realize
with the dolphin's hat.
I don't have that great of a beard. I'm not that old yet.
Oh. But
I'm not Brian's age quite yet.
This is, whoa!
What brought you here, man?
Son, you about to come over here and get a spanking, kiddo. That's what's going to happen. But that's Brandon, the disrespectful kid here. He's very disrespectful to
There's
himself.
one every week that we just have to hate on.
That's it, yeah. Last week it was Tim, and this week it's Brandon. And so we're just going to talk about the tournament this week a little bit. I'll go very quickly and start because I was a warm body, TO and doing everything. First one against Brandon. It doesn't matter what I played. He played Namekian Piccolo, and well, we all know those matchups go, so I don't really need to describe it. It's just kind of like saying, hey,
I
you
mean,
know.
Orange Guinea has a pretty good matchup against Namekian Piccolo.
It does,
Just
unless
not
they
really
continue to
good
crit away all the allies and then devastating blow them. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
I don't think you got off of level
Yeah.
1 either.
And then, the time I was going to go Time as a Warrior's Tool, he confrontationed it out. So,
Oh, that's always sad. when that
yeah,
happens.
it's always sad. So, he won, and then I went up against
Me.
you. And it was a pretty solid game, actually.
Pretty good.
Pretty solid game, but against another
Namekian Piccolo.
Namekian Piccolo. But again, Ginyu too strong, everybody. By the way,
Yeah.
Ginyu's got to be banned and changed.
Namekian. But Ginyu OP.
And I was the only Ginyu player here today, with 6 players.
Which usually I play Orange Guinea as
Yeah.
well, but like
Yeah.
I told Brian earlier, like the deck is solid as is. Like there's nothing more I can do with it, so I need to move on and play another deck.
Yep. So did that. Then I was going to go against Jordan Stevens, but we decided to just kind of call it a wash because he was busy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So lame. Then and that was really it for mine. So very simple, easy. Panda.
First round playing against Schweer, playing Red Frieza. I thought he was going to get me for a while there because he was just like damage. And then I hit that whole like, hey, by the way, I'm Piccolo.
Oh, by the way.
By the way, I'm so in one combat I went from 1 to 3, and then the next combat I just won by anger. It was pretty ridiculous. And then round 2 I played Brandon, and that was a that game was. I wish we had that on camera
That was a good
because the
match.
last 3 combats we played ball 2 4 times.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
Yeah,
We were
dirty.
both on 3 and 4, and we played ball 2 4 times in 2 combats. Like last 2 or 3 combats.
I don't
He
quite
ended
know
up
how we
winning.
did it, but yeah.
He ended up winning not by anger, but by card victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the final
I
combat.
had two targeted strikes, and he would just like steal them back with crits. So it was really funny. So that was a really good match. That was crazy. And then next round was against Steven. That match, I don't really remember what happened that one. I think I won by anger.
I remember the
and
last combat, it was a double.
You won by
anger and deck out.
Deck out.
Ball
Yeah.
victory, yeah.
Yeah, because I was looping him. Yeah, because
He had 2 targeted strikes.
Yeah. I started. There was one turn, the turn before, or 2 turns before I won. I played targeted strike and got a crit on it. So I was on Piccolo 3 as well. So for the crit effect, I stole his 3, activated 3. For the hit effect of targeted strike, I activated his 7 that he had out, and then I
7 or the 5
fetched.
I think you did the 3 with the targeted strike.
No.
And then you
I
fetched.
took his 5, used his 3.
Yeah.
And then fetched 1. And then the next turn after that one, I opened up with overtime into basically a double. Because I already had Onslaught, and I overtimed into another Onslaught. It was just like, blah.
Yep.
It was gross. It was still a good game. Like it was really evenly fought game until I was just like, hey, I'm gonna activate like 4 balls.
I shouldn't have gone into combat that time.
That was gross. That was a bad idea.
It seemed like a good idea with what I had in my hand.
I mean, it seemed like a good idea with what I had in it too. I was like, yeah, sure, enter on me. Blah. Well, that was because that was the
wasn't
turn
a good
I
idea
used.
for you.
I popped 2 visiting the past and had 6 cards in hand. It was like, and two fusions on board too. So
I forgot all about all that when I went into combat.
But yeah, that was my. I took second place and got a confrontation and credit.
I I went 1 and what, 3, 4?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Oh yeah, that's right. It was 3 rounds.
3 rounds. Yeah.
1 and 2. First round I played against Jonathan.
Yep.
Jordan.
Jordan, yeah.
Jordan.
Jordan.
He was playing Black Krillin. There was one point where first combat, he entered before, and he went the black card that banished all their copies from the deck.
Black Scout Maneuver?
Black Scout Maneuver. But I was like, hold on, are you entering combat? And he said, yeah. So I went, okay, Piccolo's Weighted Clothing.
Confrontation?
No, I went Piccolo's Weighted Clothing into some attack, and then I was like, okay, now you can make me banish all my all the last 2 of them.
Oh my gosh.
So then I went Weighted Clothing again. Won that game. It was pretty close. At one point, I did think I was going to lose. And then I played Brian. We got that game on video.
Yep, we do. We'll have that up.
It was a very good game. I thought it could have gone either way. And then me and Panda played, and same thing. We got it on video.
I think against you, I forgot to rejuvenate a card somewhere.
I think so too.
I had gained the anger for it, but forgot to send it back. It didn't matter because I wasn't searching for it anyway. But
Yeah.
I would have had. There was a weird thing. I'll have to watch it when it gets posted.
My problem against you was I couldn't keep the stages.
Yeah, I kept hitting you with massive physical attacks for like 8 stages and 2 life cards, and
And it would always be the turn after, like, you know what? I'm tired of holding onto this physical attack block. Let's rejuve it, or let's discard
I know
it.
that feel all too well.
Yeah.
I know that feel.
Overall, I did better than I did last weekend, and I'm still trying to make some changes to my deck. So now, Brandon?
Well, I think Brian already covered the first game pretty
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
It was yeah.
I kind of almost feel bad for that one because I don't
Well,
think
and
I've ever
here's where I
seen-
messed up. I should have Times Warriors 2 when you did your Piccolo level 1. But I was going to bait you out and not use it. I didn't think you had a confrontation. So if I'd have used that, that would have saved my butt.
Yeah,
But I didn't think about it, so...
So and then Panda did cover our game pretty well. That was awesome. That was an awesome game.
It was a
Crazy
great game.
game.
Oh, my God.
That was so
Then the
fun.
other one was against Jonathan, and I'll have to say I was kind of impressed with Red Frieza.
Yeah.
For Frieza being him,
For Frieza being Frieza,
he worked pretty well. I will have to say it was kind of scary because I got the 3, he was still sitting at 1. Next thing I knew, he was at 3 as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so this is a thing.
Yeah.
I really wanted to play against him.
Yeah,
So-
dude, it's a deck.
I
thought
love
was
the
gonna
anger
lose.
game that he had going on with it. Just seemed a little bit shallow on the attacks.
But that is the
But-
key about Red. And you talk to Morgan, me, Tom,
I played Red.
anybody who's played Red, they have 1 or 2 cards, especially when the tutors, and Red will then be in one of those colors along with blue that people play consistently. But Red just does not. I mean, everybody has said it over and
It
over
has
again.
everything else. It just needs more endurance.
Exactly.
And tutor cards.
It needs more endurance, more tutor, and because it's one of those decks that either goes off or it falls flat.
Right.
And when it falls flat, it really
And it
hits.
seemed
When
like
it
he
goes
was
off,
falling flat there for a little bit until that
Yeah.
mid to late game, and I was
Yeah.
sitting at level 4,
Yep.
and I was feeling really confident about myself. I think I was sitting at 1 anger, and I got myself up to 3, decided to devastating below me, get me back down to 1, then I rejuved and did something, got myself back up to 2, and Dev below me again to get me back down to 0, and I was like, how am I going to win by anger? I was impressed with that. He just
it
happened
just
to have
needs
those right cards.
consistency, and that's what the Namekian has. The Namekian has a consistency that Red
Yeah.
doesn't have
It
right
does, because against Rare, like I had a really bad couple of combats, but then I came back in 2 combats in 1. Like
Yeah.
it just has the ability to make those plays. That's why I like it. It's really good.
Now, I will say, against one of you, I messed up, and I did Piccolo's level 1 attack. I think it was against Brian. And I rejuved one of my Piccolo's Weighted Clothing when I had 2 of them.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
I totally messed up because I was like, okay, I'm going to go Piccolo's Weighted Clothing the next 2 combats, so that way I have stages again. And then afterwards, I went, what was I thinking? I was so mad at myself after that.
I did that one with a discard with Jonathan. I ended up discarding 2 cards. One was weighted clothing, and I was still on Piccolo level 1, and just led off with the ability, not even looking at my discard pile, realizing what order I put them in. And there's weighted clothing right on top, and I was
What
like,
made it even worse was I looked
Whoops.
through my discard pile just to see this, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. No, I just totally brain farted.
Yep, that's the way I was with my discard. I should have put the other one on top, and so it happens though sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's what I did against Shredder too. I forgot that I had it in there, and I played Onslaught, and it stayed in place. So I rejuvenated 1, then I rejuvenated another. And I was at 4. I was like, oh, I could have just used this. So then I just used it. I was like, okay, because I was like, man, how am I going to get this last anchor to get to 5 and win? was like, what? How am I going to do this? I don't have anything else. I was like, oh, well.
Yeah.
So I'd used Piccolo. I'd used the double rejuve off the two, technically the one onslaught being twice. So that was my 3 rejuves, and I had
One anger going in.
a devastating blow. Oh no, yeah, that's right. I had 1 anger going in, so I was a 4. I was like, how am I gonna get this? I just don't understand it. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, ding. Weighted clothing. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I was like, man, if he goes again, he's just gonna kill me. Like, ah.
But Namekian, that's what I was saying. Even with
It's
the
good.
nerf, Namekian is still strong, especially with Piccolo. So I don't at all, especially in this tournament. And then we've got the people we played against, and I'm not even tooting my own horn, but the 4 people here are 4 quality players, not even counting the other people that have come through. And to say that Namekian wins and, well, it's just by luck or this guy's better, it's not. It's Namekian has a consistency that can continue to come back even after a turn. And I'll have a couple games where, it was close for you and me, and I'll get you down, but you can come back and win by the PPV.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's scary about Namekian, because here was the last combat that I actually beat you. He had 8 cards in deck, and all I had was a overpowering attack, which he had 0 stages. It would have done 8 to him because I had the +2 on field. But the scary part about it is, I'm like, if I don't kill him now,
I went by Dragon Ball.
you win by Dragon Ball. It's really scary.
I
So
like triple threat. A lot of people hate on it because they want to build just like an aggressive physical deck, or just a Dragon Ball deck, or just an anger deck. And it's like, that's cool, but like triple threat can do all of those.
like triple threat,
and it keeps the tempo of the game going too.
I just like it. Just cool as triple threat is. My only issue with triple threat is that I like my deck to be as live as much as possible,
Yeah.
and I think that with the NPPV and winning by decking you out, those are 2 really good options that I think are good enough in themselves. However, I can see why somebody would run a triple threat as well.
Yeah, and like the Dragon Ball Victory, I don't even use it as like a thing. It just kind of happens sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, 5 all the Dragon Balls.
In our game,
It's weird.
I had 4 out at one time, and then I shuffled 1 in.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I had 4 in, and starting that comment, oh, I have 4. Yeah, I'm gonna shuffle 1 in.
Yeah. Well, and it's really funny because against the Namekian decks in the mirror match, you cannot win by ball victory
Yeah.
because you can't steal their last ball.
Yep.
You have to hope you just
Hit it to them all.
Darn. Yep. It's crazy, but
Yeah, I think that's where we were on our match.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you
We had
had
all
3 of them
7
and I had
balls.
4, or vice versa.
we had all 7 balls in play, and neither of us could win by ball victory, and we had to win by anger or cards. And he had more cards, but we were both on 4. We both had like 2 anger. I was like, okay, this is gonna be awesome. And then I used Dragon Ball 2 on him. I was like, cool. Now I'm in the lead. Well, joke's on me because I didn't have an energy block, and I walked into an onslaught for like 7. I was like, so yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoops, he's gonna steal that ball back, use it. And I targeted, striked him, used it on him again, and it was so dumb. But it was really funny. I really like targeted strike. Thanks, Tim, for that.
yeah, that was a great call.
That's
Target
such
strike
a
is.
good
I always
card.
thought target strike was great. I mean, it's
I
such
like
because
it has to hit. Boy,
the reason I like it, it's the
Bait
same.
it out.
Yeah, it's the same reason in Vanguard. I use that Vanguard
Yeah.
launch. It gets an on-hit effect. Bait it out and throw it out first, because here's what it does, man. Like if someone throws that out first turn and they have 3 cards in their hand, I'm like, what else do they have in their hand? Because what you
Yeah.
can do is throw that out first, bait it out, and then if it doesn't hit, just be cool to make an onslaught.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pick a level 3.
and it's searchable by overtime.
Yeah.
So what I like
that's
to
so
do,
good.
what I like to do is I'll save my overtimes back. Like there was one hand I had a confrontation and overtime and a target strike and something else.
Is that against me?
I think so. So a confrontation, yeah, it was against you. So a confrontation first. It was an onslaught, yeah. It was against you. So a confrontation first to see what all they have. Like, okay, we just got a confrontation. I don't want to know what I'm going to try here. So I hit out like an energy block or something, and then I try for the targeted strike. And it's like, oh yeah, I got a block for that. Cool. And I'm going to overtime you, and then I'm going to block. And then against him, I had a silencing when he had what, a hybrid.
Oh, that was bad.
Hybrid
There was
defense
a
and a
hybrid,
time. It was just like,
and an overtime.
yeah.
I had an overtime, Times Wars tool, and
I
hybrid
waited
defense.
clothing him first to draw 3. Or no, yeah, what was it? Weighted clothing, activated my, what is that? Visiting the past,
Visiting the past.
fetch silence, draw 3, silence. Stupid play. Stupid play, because he's drawing 3 cards, has 4 cards in his hand, and I'm just like, no Vince. So unless you got a sphere, woo,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really good.
It's so dumb. There's so many plays in that deck. Like the one that you did on me, not this week, but you did it before, which is you have no cards in hand and you're visiting the past for a weighted clothing, and you're like, weighted clothing?
I learned that.
Yeah.
I learned
That's a good move. That's a good move.
Which
The
was
deck
even,
has so
which was
many
even more
plays.
sad with this. Kevin was the one who taught me this, and I have to give props to him for it because
You don't?
I have to because of the fact that he took it a step further the first time he taught me how to do it with it. He had the waiting clothing in the graveyard, had the visiting the past, and his one card that he kept in his hand from before was a confrontation.
Oh,
So he decided to do the visiting the past to get the weighted clothing to put it back in to skip my turn and then confrontation to me.
jeez.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh, well that just sucks on a whole other level I wasn't ready for. I was just like, oh, well, about all that.
You'll learn today.
So, based off today, what changes would you guys make to your decks?
I mean, like my Ginyu Orange, not really. I'm kind of on the level, and Tom and I've talked about this before. I'm going to be experimenting with some new decks because, like, Namekian Piccolo, we figured that deck out. Now there are multiple styles. There's an attack version. There's a triple threat. There's a defensive. There's something the Namekian wall. There are 3 to 4 styles of a Namekian deck you're going to play.
It comes down to whatever cards you like plus whatever the necessities are. Like, that's how you run the Namekian.
That's how you run Namekian, and I mean, what, of course, we're finding out now that set 1's been out for a while is there are certain core cards that every color has. You know, no matter what you're going to have certain core cards. I'm actually interested in possibly the idea I had for one of the tournaments is to run a tournament, and if you run a non-top meta deck, let's just say a non-Namekian or a non-Ginyu deck, and you win, you get a special prize.
Okay, so
Sounds good.
No,
So
that
Trunks
changes.
comes
No,
back.
but it's not a punishment because I don't like the idea of when you can't play it. I still think you should be able to play it, but I like the idea that we have a locals that is very creative. You know, we have a lot of Kevin.
You know what? I'd probably make a new deck, not run my Sand Trunks just for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll bring a good price because the thing that I think is, and everyone's talking about set 2, but I don't think Panini knew how popular this is going to be. Set 2 will come out, and I think it's up to us as players to make the game fun and continue to make it refresh and make it different. And people post up, if all you go against is Ginyu and Piccolo, then that's your locals' fault. Like you guys, like, and I'm going to tell
Come over
everybody out
here and we'll show you diversity.
you have diversity. You have got to instill that into your locals, and if your locals don't do that, that's the fault of your players, not the fault of the game.
one other thing too is like when people get frustrated because they lose to meta decks because they don't play meta decks, and that's something like I told Shreer today because he was like, yeah, I don't play meta decks because like it's not fun. It's like I play because I like to win. You know?
No,
If
did you hear
you're
what
in
he
a
said at the end of
tournament,
the day?
yeah, it's a tournament, yeah.
At the end of the day, he said, well, I guess I'm going to start playing meta decks because I don't want to keep losing.
Yeah, no, he said he wants to play meta deck next week. I was like, cool, do it, man.
I thought he was playing Namekian and Piccolo when the game first came out.
Yeah, but they rerouted it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of people dropped it off, which is cool. But again, it's like
Still good. It's still
like
not. I don't.
if you want to play in a tournament, which is a competitive scene,
Yep.
no matter what anybody says, a tournament is competitive. If you want to play and win in that, you gotta play meta. And I hate saying that, but it's DBZ. It's one
But that's
set.
every
I do
game.
agree with Shreer. He said it's set 1. It's got a lot of balancing issues to work out, and set 2 will hopefully help with that. And I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. So we'll hopefully see that. But if you're gonna play and want to play competitively, you can't be that guy that wants to break the meta. Because there's always that guy. And
I'm
you'll
that
see
guy
him,
for
you'll,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
you'll see him everywhere. That guy. You guys know this guy personally, I bet you. He's the guy who's like, I'm going to play this deck. I'm going to make this deck good. I'm going to make a name for myself and this deck.
He's that guy running Gravekeepers with Royal Decrees in it.
Well, yeah, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh joke. But, yeah, there's that guy in every single card game, every single locals, every single meta, whatever.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I'm going to play this deck, and I'm going to make it good. And then they get frustrated because they lose to meta decks. And it's like, well, you got to keep tweaking it. Like, that Red Frieza deck, I so thought I was going to lose.
Oh.
Like, I like, halfway through the game, I was like, dude, I'm definitely losing this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I just drew the nuts. Like, it happens.
It does.
But Red has a chance to draw the nuts too.
Yeah, it does.
And there are just
Holy
some
crap,
combats
Morgan,
you get crapped
OTK
on.
guy.
You get crapped on. So
Yeah.
I think to completely blame it on Metadex or Namekian or Ginyu, I think is completely irrelevant because there are just things within card games. You just get bad draws,
It
you
is
get
RNG.
bad combats. Yeah, exactly. There's RNG and you just don't get what you need to have. But the goal and why I love this community is because people like you guys especially keep coming back
Yeah.
to play and have a good
I mean,
time.
if we don't show up, who will? You
Yeah,
know? Like, if
exactly.
we don't keep coming in every week, doing the week-to-week grind, and playing the game, who's going to be here.
And then you know they're gonna drop one of our local stores here just canceled their tournament.
Yeah,
Or their
Purdog
league.
isn't even doing it anymore because they didn't get the local support.
Thankfully, another store picked it up.
Yeah.
Which one?
Heroes Complex.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, but like you know, if they dropped out, you know, people still don't show up here because we're on the east side, opposite side of town. We're just gonna, you know, we might fizzle out, but no, we have to keep at least me and Panda are here every Sunday.
I'll make the 20, 30-minute drive every week.
And I'm on the
I know, me
west
too.
He's over there too.
I'm on east about 20 minutes. So, I mean,
But you gotta, that's the thing that people don't understand is they show up and they're like, well, the prizes, you know, the credit was bad, but it's like, well,
go grab the new prizes to show.
yeah,
Oh yeah, well
Yeah.
of course he won all.
yeah. This guy won one of the new prizes. Oh, Brian's just knocking other
I don't
stuff
know.
over.
Oh God, he just killed a tiny child.
Yeah, well, and then this. I've got a couple of these. These are these pop animation figures. There was a Piccolo, but of course
That guy
Piccolo
right there
making-
took that Piccolo.
Got it.
$10 for it.
Super Saiyan Goku, or no, just Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza Final Form.
Yep.
And I got a couple of these. Just because, and that's the other thing too, I tell anybody who's TO and a runner tournaments, find creative ways to bring people out. You know, just, I mean, again, yeah, you're spending some money on it, but if your goal is to grow the community, and you're
money to
spending,
make money.
exactly, see, but I have to, here's how you have to think about it. He's spending money in gas, he's spending money in gas, he's spending money. They're spending their
Not in
time.
gas.
Well, yeah, because I drove her. Whatever, technicality. But they're spending their time too. They could all be doing something else. They could all be somewhere else. They could all be with other friends. So, like, I think people, yeah, play Smash. But I think people who run tournaments or are in tournaments think, well, they owe it to me to come down. They don't owe you anything. So it's just very important for you guys to, and I appreciate people like Donald, who was here originally and moved away. He gave some support for us to be able to give out. But again, with the community, enrich it, give out prize support, give people a reason to come out, because that's what's going to keep the community alive, is you actually giving them a reason to come out.
Yeah, and it's like, you've got to be here though too. That's the thing, is getting people to come here, like after all this stuff, it's like, just...
I think some people assume, well, it's just going to go on. You know, I'm not there that week. And it's
Yeah.
okay. Some people can't be here. Things happen, and I completely understand it. But
Totally
if
understand
you
that.
have the chance and if you want to see a game succeed, then you need to be here. If you're okay, if you're like, hey, I don't really care if the game succeeds, then you don't have to come by. But you have to put forth the
No, I
effort.
mean, here at Battle Stations, that's what's happening with the Yu-Gi-Oh group. We started off really well, and then people were like, you know what, it's too far away from the other store. We have a good gap between our two times. And, I'm driving, 30 minutes just to get here, and then it's another 30 minutes to get to the other store.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are we supposed to, if you guys aren't going to grow the community other places,
Yeah.
you're complaining about the store you're playing at.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do if you don't want to go somewhere else? I mean,
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is that you have to grow your community, but you have to go about it the right way.
Yep.
You can't go, I guess, like exiling
certain
people,
locations,
people's stores, or just like,
sides of town.
yeah. You got to make the effort. You got to show up.
Yep.
You just have to be there, because otherwise it's just going to die out, like it did. Unfortunately, for Purdog Comics, they're not running anymore. Yesterday was their last day.
I thought it was last week.
Oh, I thought it was. No, it was yesterday, wasn't it?
I think it was last week.
It was,
last
it was
week.
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand things happen, but like people just weren't showing up.
Well, the store, that's the other thing too. Stores have to make it. I mean, in the end, the store has to make something off of it, and it has to make it worth their while. And if they're not, then because you look at something like Battle Stations here, they're a great store, and they've really been good to us on a lot of stuff. But in the end, for them, their business, they're opening this place up for free. Really super nice facility for us to be able to play cards. So Adam and Steve and all the people here, I'm very open with them and say, hey, look, we appreciate you guys opening your store. That's the other thing too. Don't be overly demanding to your stores. Like, appreciate the fact that they're opening up their businesses. When, again, if you wanted to do this kind of tournament at anywhere in town, you want to do it at a hotel, you want to do it at an event place, like, cool, that's going to be $100 down.
Yeah.
And we'll charge you X amount of people. You're going to charge $20 per person or something like that, and you're going to spend $200 just to get people in the door.
Yeah.
So I don't think people understand what it takes for a store to allow you to do that. So appreciate the fact if a store lets you in to play their game, slowly build it up, and then once you get it built up, and then they do have a reason to keep you on, then you can say, hey, look, I have 12 people coming here every week. How can we up our price support?
Well, it's like Friday Night Magic now. They got 18 people last
Yeah.
Really?
18,
Yeah.
18 people.
18.
Friday Night
Wow.
Magic. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're just up in the game. It's like if people aren't going to come out, then we're just going to keep giving away better prizes. But you can't think like that because we're going to give away a flat screen TV or whatever. And the people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to be there for that. But it's like, cool, you weren't here when we gave away,
Right. You need,
$15 in credit.
we need Namekian support is what we need. Consistent support. Consistent Namekian support.
Making the plays.
Every day making the plays, coming out here, rejuven one, gaining an anger, man. We don't need red
Searching
players.
that one out here.
We don't need those red blow up players. We need them consistent Ginyu or Namekian players. So.
Now, let's say, you were talking about wanting to do a non-meta tournament. What we could do is, when you sign up, you draw a mastery color out of your hat. Out of a hat. You just kind of do a build on the spot.
What I really like is when set 2 comes out, I definitely want to work on planning in advance.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but just getting you get, I think it's like 5 packs, and you get the structure deck,
Yeah.
and you build a deck out of that, and
Yeah.
you play. And it's awesome because then the prizes for that are more structure decks and
Yeah.
more boxes and cards.
Right,
It's
and
great.
that puts it kind of like how Magic does with their booster drafts that they have.
Exactly.
To where you
I
do the whole
love-
3 packs and build a deck off
Dude,
of it right there on the
that one
spot.
time I didn't even know totally what I was doing, but it was a really fun match.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
I'd love to do
Those are some of the
that
best
for
because then
DVC.
it does get you away from the meta games. It does sit there and give it a little bit more,
You gotta think on your feet.
creativity behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And it's one of those ones that you don't have to sit there being like, oh, I got to have all these high dollar cards to feel like I'm going to be doing good at a tournament or something.
Oh, yeah.
You can just walk in, pay down some money, have an idea how to play, and
Yeah.
go with it.
Yeah.
That takes
fun.
more skill as a player
Oh,
to be able
yes,
to
it
do it
does.
on the fly like that than just sit there and just spend a whole bunch of money, buy your deck, and go, oh, well, I'm going to win all these games now.
So I saw on Panini's thing, they're also planning on doing mixed color deck tournaments
Yeah.
Side events. Yep.
Yeah.
for side events.
Yeah. I just want the first OP to be announced and here because I need to start. I need to just go.
Yeah, I would try to go.
I need to go. Well,
I'll put a little bit of money out of my tax return aside. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the other thing too is people are getting just fed up, or not really fed up, but tired of just playing the same decks over and over again, or playing just with the
Build a new
same
deck.
cards. Well, no, it's just the same cards because set
Oh,
one's
yeah.
been out for so long.
Yeah.
It has been
it's
out for
so-
a while, but everyone's waiting for set 2. They're just kind of hanging back. Well, I'll play when set 2 comes out. So you can't do that either, because then your local suffers.
yeah.
I mean, this is the second week we had 6 people.
Yeah, we had 6 people.
I mean, we would have 9 last week, but we had
Yeah.
6 people this week. And I wish we would just hit 12 so we could give away that DVD. But people need to show up.
But again, I've got special big prizes. I've got these little prizes. Next week, those will be given away.
Yeah.
We can use some more stuff. So again, I guess the key in this, guys, support your local community.
Yeah.
Wherever
Yes.
you're at. I mean, we're here in Wichita, but wherever you're at, please support your local community. We've talked about it before. Stop the BS. Stop anything.
Yeah,
Support
just-
it. Just be out there, man. And because in the end, I mean, I'll tell you my opinion. I'm doing this for fun. I don't come out here to make money. I don't come out here because I've got a wife and 3 kids. I guarantee I could be doing a lot more than being out here. But I do it because I want to support the community. So you got to do that.
Another thing, this bugs me. No matter what the situation is, if you're gonna tell someone you're gonna be somewhere, be there.
Yeah,
Show up.
yeah.
Show up. Because
you know-
then we're counting on people to be here, and then no one shows up.
I know.
And we're wow.
I know. For Yu-Gi-Oh, we held tournaments, and I'd have to be like, okay, so we're gonna hold a tournament next weekend. Are you gonna be there? Yeah, I'll be there. Don't show up.
Yeah.
We couldn't run the
Remember
tournament
that
because
one
one
time
those
after every
people.
week and you still didn't?
I'm not talking about you, Drew.
But anyway,
You're consistent.
it's you just need to
Nope.
show up and support the community, and just do that. Yeah. It's long and short of it.
So yeah, I think that's about it. We covered everything we wanted to. Thanks to all my 3 sexy compadres for being out here and joining us, and we'll see you next week for some more DBZ.
Deuces.